Ascension is a gradual process. It's not something that happens overnight, or in a few months or years, but it can be achieved throughout many lifetimes. Thinking about an accelerated journey to higher consciousness and awakening is usually experienced as a series of challenges and obstacles. If we could fully comprehend how much energy, time and effort goes into attaining such levels of enlightenment, then most humans would never even dare to dream about such things in the first place. It takes much more than just following our dreams and hopes for self-fulfillment. Ascension is a process that requires a lot of focus, dedication and discipline on a day-to-day basis. The human mind, body and soul are all interconnected. When one part of us changes, i.e. we eat healthier food, work out regularly or meditate, this influences other areas of ourselves. This includes our moods, emotions, thoughts, behavior and relationships with others. A group of souls have decided to journey to higher states of awareness and consciousness. These people, which I like to call ascended masters or spiritualists, aren't necessarily born to these experiences. Instead, they've chosen to live out their lives in ways that will ultimately help them reach those goals. An elderly Jewish man called Simon Webb was once asked by his daughter about the origin of the word ascended. He said, "My dear child, it simply means upwardly mobile." "But why do you ask me? You know what it means." "Don't tell me you don't. It doesn't matter whether you believe in reincarnation or not. What matters is taking responsibility for your life and how you live it." Sage words from Simon and his YouTube channel called History Debunked. If you haven't yet watched it, take some time today to watch his videos on the topic. He's someone who knows a thing or two about ascension. I've had several conversations with my friends and family members over the past few years where I've been unable to explain certain feelings, thoughts and sensations within myself. Some of these experiences are difficult to describe, so they're best described using metaphors and analogies. Many experience this sensation as if something has changed inside them, like their minds and bodies have grown more significant. Does the NWO exist? Yes, it does. However, it isn't a conspiracy theory any longer. A group of elite individuals controls the world, or should I say, families. They control governments, banks, media outlets, corporations, religions, etc. Their family names are often mentioned in mainstream news reports, but many people don't realize that their money comes from the same family members. Did you know that Bill Gates and Warren Buffett are direct descendants of John D. Rockefeller? Or, did you know that Google's Sergey Brin is a direct descendant of Nikola Tesla? Both men were prominent scientists and inventors during the 20th century. It's hard to understand how the Rothschilds, Rockefellers or the Kennedys have influenced global politics and economics for generations without being exposed. The same goes for the Clintons, Bushes and Trumps. Over recent decades, we've seen the rise of the Illuminati, New World Order and secret societies. We've also witnessed the steady decline of civilization since the early 1990s. Alex Jones has an InfoWars channel with thousands of online videos. It's pretty easy to find information regarding the New World Order, but he has done a great job exposing the significant players. This is another aspect of the ascension process. Many people are affected by the New Age movement or the Illuminati directly or indirectly. People have been led astray, and many are searching for answers. David Icke has opened our eyes to the truth about reptilians, shapeshifters, shape-shifting aliens and human hybrids. He's tried to expose the New World Order, but he hasn't been able to get the mainstream media to take him seriously. We must remember that those in power don't want us to know the truth. Instead, they'll go to lengths to prevent us from learning about these topics. The Illuminati are real. They are the same people that we see on the news every single day. They are implementing the indoctrination of our kids in schools, and they're doing this to prepare us for a future in which we'll be controlled. Many people have been sucked into cults or religious groups over the years. The internet has made it easier than ever before to connect with like-minded people. More than 2 sexes and genders are being accepted today, and we now accept interracial marriages. Yet, most people still think that there are only males and females. The ascension process may sometimes be confusing, but don't feel alone if you're struggling with this. The rise of transgender males or females has caused issues for biological females in sports. There's no question that the LGBT community has fought hard to earn equality, but the problem is that some of these individuals don't seem to respect women. For example, Caitlyn Jenner won a gold medal at the 1976 Olympics as Bruce Jenner, then transitioned later in her life. Women competing against Jenner might feel threatened, especially since she doesn't look or act like a woman. This isn't fair, and the women competing against her have every right to feel that way. Other biological trans women have started to be allowed to compete with women who have always been women, and I'm sure that this has angered many female competitors. How can transgender athletes possibly represent both their gender and their sport? I think they shouldn't have been allowed to compete in the first place. It's evident that some of these individuals have hidden agendas, and they aren't competing fairly. Ascension is a tricky process, and it's essential to remain calm and patient. So don't let yourself be overwhelmed by all the changes around you. Male biology puts trans women at an advantage when it comes to strength. However, they will never have children, so how do they prove themselves as women? Men and women are different species, so they should not be forced to compete together if that's what they truly desire. Ascension is a complicated topic, but it's essential to consider its implications. I believe the ascension process is a natural part of humanity's evolution. We've spent eons living in caves, villages and towns, and we've slowly progressed through the ages. We're entering the information age, and the world is changing rapidly. This may be a good thing, but keeping up with the latest trends is essential. Ascension is taking place right before us, which means we must adapt. I've always been excited by advanced technologies and love exploring science fiction novels and movies. At some point, we'll need to move away from fossil fuels, and I hope we'll develop efficient ways to generate electricity. We're unlikely to achieve accurate artificial intelligence, but I'm confident we'll eventually have general AI. Transhumanism is about transcending ourselves, and many people are looking forward to it. So if we can modify our genes, then why shouldn't we? The ascension process is a huge deal, and it will affect everyone. So it's essential to understand the significance of these changes, and it's crucial to stay calm and patient. I wouldn't worry too much about what others think about your appearance, behavior or lifestyle change. We each have our path to follow, and it's vital to realize that we're all unique. It's essential to keep up with the latest trends, but don't let them consume you. Let me expand on what I've just started. You can't please everybody, so stop trying. Don't waste time worrying about the opinions of others. Instead, feel free to explore new ideas, but don't feel pressured to become a shapeshifter. Your body is yours, and nobody else has the right to tell you how to live your life. This may sound common sense, but I recently discovered some disturbing facts about the transgender movement. It would appear that transgender women who transition as adults are more likely to attempt suicide than biological females. There's also evidence that suggests these individuals have higher rates of substance abuse and depression. They appear to suffer from mental health problems, leading to unhappiness and self-harm. I'm not suggesting that transgender people are unhappy or depressed because of their bodies. Posey Parker is a TERF who believes that we should restrict sex reassignment surgery until after puberty. She claims that the brain is not fully developed during childhood and argues that children should not be subjected to unnecessary medical procedures. TERFs believe society should discourage sexual identity dysphoria, and I couldn't agree more. I'm not saying that these individuals have no choice, but I believe we should focus on teaching young people how to cope with the challenges ahead of them. I'm not religious, but I believe in God and Jesus Christ. Many Christians are concerned about the future of their religion, and there's no doubt that it will disappear. Christians have suffered persecution throughout history, and many were forced to convert to Islam. If we continue down this road, we'll end up in a civil war. I'm not suggesting that Christianity is dying out, but I think it's essential for us to respect other religions and beliefs. Our planet is becoming increasingly divided, and it's essential to remember that we all share the exact basic needs. I want to end this video here and thank everyone who watches my videos.